The Friar's Tale. The friar is described by Chaucer as being a licensed beggar. A friar isn't like a monk. Monks kind of stayed in the monastery and would support poor people who came to them. Perhaps they were given simply a bowl of bean stew, but at least they gave them something. Friars, on the other hand, travelled around and basically begged. They relied on whatever food or money people gave them in exchange for their prayers. So friars probably weren't that popular. And neither were summoners. A summoner is somebody who takes a writ to a person who has to go to court, and they were believed to be quite corrupt. So here is Chaucer's Friar's Tale, in which the friar tells a story about a corrupt summoner. It was one fine day, and a summoner was going to try and obtain a bribe from a poor widow, an elderly lady who lived alone in a tumble-down cottage a long way out of the town. As he was walking, he was joined on the road by a strange-looking man with dark hair and dark skin, dressed in green, carrying with him a bow and arrow. Well, a bow and several sharp-fletched arrows. And so the two men fell to talking. But the summoner didn't choose to admit as to his true trade. He said, "I am a bailiff. I am going to take 12 pence from an old widow." The green-dressed man nodded and said, "Yes, I too am a bailiff. My master is a hard man to work for. He pays very little, but I work very hard for him, so I have to take a little. Perhaps sometimes people offer me a bribe. I'd be a fool not to take it, because, like everyone else, I need to eat. Times are hard. We all have to make a living where we can." And the summoner nodded and said, "Indeed we do. As brother bailiffs, I think we should work together. Tell me, who is your master that treats you so badly?" And the green-clad man laughed and said, "My master is the devil himself. I am a demon. I live in hell." The summoner was a little taken aback, but nevertheless carried on walking. As the road out of the town became narrower and more of an earth road and muddier, the demon and the summoner came across a carter whose cart was stuck in the mud. 2 horses couldn't pull the cart out of the rut into which it had become stuck. The carter swore. The carter said, "May the devil take my horses, my cart, and my load." The summoner turned to his newfound friend, said, "There, you can take the horses, the cart, and the load for your master." The demon said, "The carter was speaking. But the words didn't come from the heart. He didn't really mean what he said. They were words spoken in the heat of the moment. And at that moment, the horses gave an extra hard pull, and the cart jolted free from the rut in which it was stuck. And the carter carried on his way. And the demon said, words only carry meaning if you have true intent and you really mean what you say. The two characters carried on a little further until they came to the remote cottage where the old woman lived. The summoner called to her and said, I have a writ here to take you to court. It was some time ago when your husband was still alive. You were unfaithful to him, and that is an offence in the eyes of the law. And so, of course, is witchcraft. And any fornication outside of marriage. Chaucer doesn't say that the woman was a witch, but I rather like to think that she was. And she didn't believe the summoner. She looked at him and she said, I was never unfaithful to my husband. The summoner said, if you give me 12 pence, I can lose the writ. That will be best for you. The old woman looked at him and said, I do not have 12 pence to give you. The most valuable thing I have in my house is my new frying pan. May the devil take you and my new frying pan. Now those words, and perhaps they were a curse, were spoken from the heart and were spoken with intent. So the demon, perhaps he smiled, perhaps he laughed, as he took the old widow's frying pan and took the soul of the summoner down to hell to present to his master. That's an odd one for a friar to tell, because he's actually quite sympathetic towards the demon, but on the other hand, justice is served. That's actually a common theme in storytelling. It occurs quite a lot in the Brothers Grimm stories, where the devil, although he's not essentially a good character, he is the agent by which justice is served and by which bad characters get their just reward. Quite an odd one. Stay with me, because of course the summoner tells his own tale. Please do subscribe to my channel, and I do hope to see you again soon. Take care.